Yeah, I can't believe I'm sitting here. Hi, everyone. This is Janet from Calico Gals. Welcome to Shenanigans. Thank you, Jolene, for that lovely music background. um, I'm here with Jennifer and Jolene, and we're going to show you some great things from the quilt shop today. And I've got some demos for you that are going to be so fun. Wait till you see them. And actually something that's even a little crafty right before Easter, right? We're going to do that. Speaking of crafty, Jen. Oh, I haven't even had a chance to look at this. All right, we'll look at that later. First, we want to talk about, first I want to say, I literally just ran in and sat down, whipped my coat off, and okay, I'm here. And it was like 2 minutes to go. And when I walked in the door, I don't know if you heard Kevin, he yelled out, "I found her, Joe." Joe, I said, oh, she was worried, wasn't she? She's like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? I'm here. Okay, so I didn't even, I was going to text her and say I'm on my way, but I didn't even want to take the time to do that. Anyway, so the gals had left me. Thanks, Jen and Joe, for leaving me this adorable package of 5-inch squares from QT Fabrics. It's called Wild Beauty. And I liked it because to me it was a little springy with tulips and flowers on it, but I'm not sure how the zebra fits into springy. I guess it depends on where you are, right? But anyway, the zebras are very cool in here to go with the bright colors. I'm not sure how many are in this pack. It's a sample pack from the line of fabric, but somebody's going to win this. And normally, I shouldn't say normally, traditionally, I have a question. And then we chat about that. But because I just ran in and sat down, I don't even have a question. So all I'm going to ask you to do is, hey, say hi. How about, Joe, what did you say? Tell us what you're working on. What have you been sewing on lately? I know a lot of people are finishing up their Sew Zone blocks. Last week was our last week of the Sew Zone. If you are in the Sew Zone, and a lot of you are, pull out that bingo page, complete that. You've got a couple weeks to complete that. And Jen, you're catching the ones on Facebook, right?
I am.
So Jen's making tickets to go in for a drawing. Everybody who completes their bingo gets to go in for a drawing, and we're giving away a sewing machine. Ooh, I want to pull that machine out and demo it. Maybe I'll pull that out next week so people can see what that's about, because it's a great machine anyway. It's a really fantastic little sewing machine, perfect for travel or an extra machine at home, or if this is your first sewing machine, it's really good for that too. So that's what's going to happen with that. So last week we had our Taste of Spring, trying to get my brain organized here, last Thursday, which means we had our teachers here. We had Girl Scouts here serving and selling cookies, and they sold, how many boxes did they say?
Over 2,000, or no, that night, 95.
95 boxes of cookies. Do quilters love Girl Scout cookies? Yes, we do. Yes, I do. I think we all bought a box or two of cookies. Some people I saw bought several boxes of cookies. So the Girl Scouts were very happy to be here that night, and we were very happy to have them. If you were here that evening, you received a copy of our playlist, which is what we call our newsletter. If you were not here, Joe, you've got that right on our website. Is that obvious? Do they need to click on something?
Right on the homepage.
Right on the homepage, calicogals.com. You can click on our playlist. You can read it right there. You can download it. You can print it. You can see what classes we have coming up. I'm going to be highlighting a couple of them that are not sold out, including this amazing one behind me. Yeah, Liberty Crown. That one is really incredible. Okay, I think I want to get into demos. Then I want to look at this cute little Lego thing you made, Jen. So last week we posted the directions to the little mini basket. And Marcia, right after Shenanigans, went and made one last Thursday, and then she brought it in and had it sitting on her table full of Dove chocolate for the Taste of Spring. And I hadn't actually seen one in person until she brought hers in. I only saw the blog post from Quilt Smart about this cute little basket, and when I saw it in person, I just fell in love with it. So I made this one, and then while I was making it, I realized even though it's little and it does use Quilt Smart, It's also a little challenging. It's got some, and I learned a few tips while I was making it, so I thought maybe I would show you that. But it is super adorable. And then after I do some demos about this basket, I'm going to show you a little crafty idea to do with it too. All right, so boy, I am not organized. Joe, can you show that top-down camera and they can show what I just did? Literally, I walked in the door and I just dumped everything here. I plugged in my iron so I would be ready. So let's take a look at how you would start to make this, and I can share some of my tips with you. First of all, if you were in Sew Zone, you probably have some leftover printed fusible grid, like this one, although I've already used this one. Printed fusible grid from Quilt Smart or other companies, we use the 2.5-inch squares. So all you need is a 3x4, which if you are in Sew Zone, you probably have leftover pieces like this. If you're not, Jen, did you add the Quilt Smart to the collection?
It is.
Okay, so you can buy a panel of this. It's not very expensive, and I don't even know how many baskets you would get out of the panel. A lot of baskets. Out of one panel, you would get a lot of little baskets. So, okay, what I did is I fused down my 12 squares right between the lines, and then I folded and I sewed. And I tried to use a color thread that would show off. Here, let me do it this way. There. Now, can we see that a little better, Joe? Because one of the things I want to show you guys, let me grab my scissors here, is that you sew 1/4 inch from the edge, and there are these little marks on here so that you can kind of gauge that. But with all of my seams in this project, I started 1/4 inch from the end, back stitched, and stopped 1/4 inch from the end and back stitched. And the directions in the blog post did say to do that, and I thought, yeah, right, really? But oh my gosh, yes, absolutely made all the difference in the world when putting this together. So here we go. I folded and sewed, folded and sewed. Normally, using any kind of a Quilt Smart or a printed fusible, you're now going to fold this way and sew, but with this project, you don't. You only sew the 2 seams in the long direction, and now I am going to press this. And I am just, can they see this, Joe? Mm-hmm. Okay. I am just going to press in one direction for now. I may change as I'm sewing which way I go. Okay, but I just wanted to get that nice and flat. Maybe I'll give it one more little press here. Yeah, just to get this nice and flat, it's going to make it so much easier. Now there is a little fusible, but of course I have pressed this a few times, and the first time I pressed it, I did use the mat so that it did not stick to my iron. After the first couple times doing that, it's probably not going to stick to your iron, and there's not a lot showing here. Next step, we're going to cut. And I thought I brought a ruler, but I don't see it. So I'm going to eyeball this. Jen, it's okay. I'm going to be brave. Normally, I would use a ruler. Got that? But I'm just going to cut right on the little dotted line in between. And I also found that doing this from the back is a little bit easier. I can see the dots a little bit better from the back. You might find it to do it from the front is easier. So all we did was sew the 2 seams in the long direction, and now we're cutting these apart. The first thing I thought when I saw this was, why do I need Quilt Smart to do this? Why can't I just sew together 2.5-inch squares? And the answer is you can. However, as you watch me demonstrate this, you're going to see there are a lot of advantages to using Quilt Smart, not to mention that when you are done, it's so nicely stabilized that the basket really holds up nicely. So this is the way that it was. And now you need to decide, it's going to come out kind of patchworky, but you need to decide what's going to be your bottom. And I'm going to decide that my dark green is going to be the bottom of my basket. So all of my dark greens will be on the bottom of my basket. And I'm going to lay these out like this. Joe, I forgot to ask you, where am I on here?
You're perfect. Right.
Okay, I'm okay? Mm-hmm. All right, good. So people can see how these are laid out. And now they're going to be sewed together. So what we want to do is sew together the bottom of our basket. I'm going to grab a couple clips here, because what we're going to do is just fold this one over, and I'm going to put a clip in it, because that way I can just go to my sewing machine and I know which side to sew on. I'm going to fold this one over and put a clip in it, and I'm going to know where I'm going to sew. And when I sew here, trying to find one that I can see a little better, but since it's on the dark green, it's not going to show up as well as I hoped. I'm going to sew again. I'm going to start 1/4 inch and sew and back stitch, and sew all the way along to here and back stitch. Now, because I was making several of these, I clipped them and I made a pile and set them there on my sewing machine. And then when I went to sew, I knew exactly. I wasn't confused about, do I sew here or here? I knew exactly where I was going to sew because I had the clip. Again, sewing from here to here, 1/4 inch in and back stitching. All right, let's see one that I've sewn. Let me go through my pile and see what I've got here, and see what I think this one right on top will be the one. Nope. This really is organized, you guys. It really is. Okay. Well, here's one that you can see that I've sewn. So I sewed it in one direction and the other direction, then I sewed these two to each other, and the seams go in opposite directions. Look how nice this is on the back, which also makes it really nice because I press it at this point. And this is really, until the end, one of the only times that I actually press. So far this has been super simple. We're sewing our quilt smart together, cutting it apart, and then making the basket bottom, which lays really nice. Don't worry that this looks all wonky. It's going to come out fine, trust me. The idea now is we're going to sew the sides of our baskets together. So you can see that this one will sew here, 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 and here. So let's take a look at that. When I go to sew this together, I'm going to be able to pop these seams, and you're worried, well, wait a minute, that's not going in the right direction. It doesn't matter because we're going to start here. So after we sew, this will be all nice and neat here. But the first thing I do is I match up my seams, and if I have to press one in the opposite direction, which I do here, and I put a clip in it. All right, so now I can adjust the top and adjust the bottom, and I do this right at my sewing machine because after I press that center, I'm ready to go. I can just sit here and sew this basket together. Again, starting 1/4 inch, stitching all the way down, and I would probably stitch from the other side so I can see, but you can see where to stop because you're going to stop right here. There's nothing under here, so you're going to stop right here at this point. Back stitch, back stitch. Yes, I do have one already sewn, I think. Here it is. Sorry I don't have these in order. All right, so I have already sewn this one. Let's take a look at it. Right here I did exactly what I just showed you. I started here, and I stitched down to here and back stitched. Flipping that open, you're going to see that this is going to be a nice bottom to my basket. That my seams all line up nicely. Look at that, how nice that lines up. So then I can come back over here and do one of the other sides. And you're going to do all four, and it might look a little confusing when I'm showing you right now, but I'm telling you, when you get it in front of you, it's going to make sense. Start by lining up your seam allowances and making them go in the opposite direction. Then go back and line up your top and your bottom. Put a clip in there to hold it. So now I'm going to line up my top and my bottom. Again, start sewing right here and line this up nicely. Stop right here, which is going to be right at that seam. And okay, this is a little basket. This is not rocket science, and this is not something that you're probably going to enter in the state fair. If it's not 100% perfect, it's still going to be absolutely amazing. Trust me on that. Let's look at the other side right there. Here's how we're going to go. Down here, down to here. And I use my 1/4 inch foot for all of this. I do have a little laser light on my machine. A lot of machines have those now. And it will put a little red light right where my needle's going to drop. I found that to be very handy with this. So if your machine might have that, if you don't know, check your machine. If you're looking to get a new machine, look for that feature of the little laser light because it was very handy. The other thing that I had on my machine is an option to start with a back stitch. So all I do is press my foot pedal and it will go forward, back stitch, and then go forward. It goes like 3 stitches. When it comes down to the end and I stop right here, I hit my scissors button and it automatically does a back stitch and then cuts my thread. Again, that might be a feature on your machine. I didn't even know I had it till recently, and I really, really like it a lot, especially in this project where every single seam I am back stitching. Okay, let's take a look at what this will look like when it's done. Here's one right here that I have finished. All of my seams have been sewn all the way around, and I just can't wait. I want to see what it's going to look like. So I pop it open, and then I'm all excited because look at how nice those corners come out down at the bottom, and that is because we started and stopped 1/4 of an inch from the end. Look at how cute that's going to be. But before we really can turn this right side out, we have to put the lining in. So let's go back and look at what the lining is involved with. Let me find one here. The lining is 4 strips of fabric, 2.5 by 6.5. And then you're going to press a piece of interfacing on the back. I suppose you could leave that step out. I know that Marcia actually used a heavier piece of interfacing and her basket came out gorgeous, but she said it was really hard to turn because she used a heavier interfacing. So I just used a lightweight woven because it's what I had. You could also use scraps of Quilt Smart. The other thing I did was, this is 6.5 by 2.5. I cut my interfacing just slightly smaller because you don't need to have your seam allowances all interfaced. So this makes really nice pieces. All right, if I was going to sew this one together now, I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did with my outside of my basket. I'm going to make the same basket crossing. I'm going to sew these 2 together, and that's what I said. I did a lot of chain piecing. I put the clip in so I knew where to sew. I did the same thing on this one. And again, now I don't have my little hash marks on here, so I'm not exactly sure where my 1/4 inch is, but I've been doing this long enough that I can eyeball it. If you wanted to, you could mark them. I'm like, yeah, okay, if it makes you feel better. But I do have my 1/4 inch foot, so I know where it's going to be on this side. And a lot of times your feet, and mine does, has a little mark there, so I know where I can start. And it's also got a little mark here, so I know where I can end. And that really helps to get it nice. All right, let me go back to my pile of disorganization here and see where I may have sewn. Oh, here's one. Here's one that I sewed together already. Came out very, very nice. And here's one that I sewed the 2 pieces together. Let's go back to this one. Okay, so now we're going to do this, put this in, and put our clip in to hold this, and go sew. Back stitching, starting 1/4 of an inch from the end, ending 1/4 of an inch from the end. This is what it's going to come out like. I press it nicely, just like I did the outside piece, and I'm ready to go to do the exact same thing. That's right, we're going to sew the sides together. However, because I didn't have all that piecing going on, this one doesn't seem to turn as nicely. So I've got a little tip for you. See what I'm talking about? This one is just giving me a really hard time about flattening out. So I take the piece that's smaller, the side that's smaller, you can see where it is right there, and I come right in and I clip that. And if I clip that, now it is going to easily turn for me. And it really makes a huge difference. Hang on, I'll get my hands out of the way so that you can see what I've done here. Yeah, so the one that I'm showing you is going to be challenging, right? Because I'm showing it to you. I think that if I clip this just a little bit closer to that seam, it's going to give me a little better turn. There we go. There we go. Now it's nice and flat. So we want this to be nice and flat. Let me show you the other side. Again, we're going to start right from here and stitch down. That's 1/4 of an inch from the end, and stop 1/4 of an inch from the end. So let me see where I may have sewn some of these together already. Well, I've got the whole one sewn together. Here's my lining piece. It looks just like the outside piece, only this one is pieced. And this one is not pieced. This one is just the 4 strips. The lining, I am going to flip right side out. And then I'm going to tuck it inside and line up all those points on here. You're going to sew around the whole top here, but you have to leave an opening. Don't forget you need to leave an opening. We'll talk a little bit about that. Because all of our seams, we started and stopped 1/4 inch from the end of it. We're going to be able to, let me put a clip in here to show you. We're going to be able to flatten these seams out. We don't need to sew down and turn. These will flatten right out on your sewing machine as you're sewing. Again, with your 1/4 inch foot, this is going to be, you're going to be able to come right here. That will flatten out really nicely for you. And you might not be doing it right here because I don't have the sewing machine going. But you're going to be able to sew from here to here around all 4 sides. To leave an opening for turning, go around a corner, just a couple stitches, back stitch and stop. And then come down to this point here, back stitch and go forward. So you're going to leave this much open, but already make that turn because it's really hard to flip that turn after you've turned it. So make that little bit of turn. It seems like it's not enough to turn it, but it is. It is. You're gonna struggle with it for just a little bit, and then you're gonna flip it through. One of the things that I do, and I don't have this part ready to demo for you, but let me see if I can talk to you about it. Let's assume that I left this piece open right here to turn. Before I turn it, I will take and press this. I want a nice crease there, and the same with the other side. And the reason, and just in the spot that I left open, the reason I do that is after you turn it, that's going to be so nice and neat for you. And let's look at this little one that we looked at originally, because this one I have not finished. I did turn it. Can't even find out. Here it is right here. See that? I turned that, I pressed that seam allowance back before I turned it over. So now when I turn it out, it's nice and neat on the outside. Our last step for this is to top stitch around the edge, and I would use an open toe foot like this and move my needle over, come real close to that, come right along that edge, look for your open toe foot in your sewing machine. Now you're going to stop at each one of the inners, flip, keep going around, Or you're just going to put a little glue in there, leave it closed, and call it a day without even doing that if you want to. Another thing that I learned is this ends up being very patchworky. And on this one, I use such similar fabrics that you don't really even see. Even though these are all different fabrics, they were so similar that it doesn't really look very patchworky. And when I saw the one that Marcia made, after that, that's when I started putting big contrast in my pieces. You don't have to have just 4. It kind of helps you keep it straight when you're actually putting your pieces together to know, like, okay, this is my bottom, and then these 2 are going to, because you can see here how patchworky it's going to come out. It really is going to come out cute. I'm going to flip this one again. This one I also was one of the first ones I cut, so I didn't do a lot of contrast in it. Okay. All right, so hopefully all of that's helpful for you. I'm looking forward to finishing up all these little baskets and giving them to my grandkids for Easter. Oh, I just thought of one more thing I wanted to show you. Look how nicely this is pressed. And one of the nice things about it is that the Quilt Smart was in there stabilizing the outside, and then I had interfacing stabilizing the lining. But it is like almost impossible to press this. It's like, how do you press this? I guess you can go inside if you have a small iron, and that really does work kind of good. But what I found was my clapper was a good size for pressing this, that I could actually get right on here and flip over my pieces and press them really nicely on the outside. This was an accidental thing I found, but I'm going to remember this for other bags and things because I found that it really helped me when I was pressing all of my pieces. Okay, I'm coming back over here. Was that a lot? Was that a lot? John, what are people saying? They're like,
A lot of people are working on their sew-zone blocks.
Oh, really?
Finishing them up.
well, save a few pieces to make a little basket too, you guys. Because after you make one, you're going to want more. Hang on a second, I got to grab some. Okay. So, how cute this basket is just to fill it with candy or a little toy. But a lot of times if you're making a cute little gift basket, you want to have cellophane. And you could drop your basket down in the bottom of the cellophane bag, but then I always struggle with boxing the bottom of it. And I saw this really cute idea, is that you use a glass. Now I might have too much chocolate in this one, we'll try it. And then I'm gonna borrow some of the grass, the Easter grass from the rope bowl, and put a little bit of that on top too. I think my basket's gonna be very, very full. Now put your basket on top, right? Weird? Weird? Okay. Now put your bag on top of that. Jen, are you following this?
I'm following.
Jen's like, what are you doing? Okay, so now this is the problem that makes it not neat, is that the bottom of your bag is not nice. But I can just fold that over and make this fit. And I think this is the bag that I had, but I think if I had a little bit smaller bag, it would work even a little bit better. And I'm just gonna put a piece of tape on that now. So I'm dealing with it while it's upside down, right? All right, now I'm flipping. Flipping. Oh, too much chocolate. Oh, maybe not too much chocolate in there. Definitely not gonna be enough for the, and there's little pieces of grass. The grass is in the bottom, right? Because we put the grass in the top, now the grass is in the bottom. There's a couple different ways you can close this up. The little bags that I had came with little twisters, and you could tie a ribbon, a tag, or even a little piece of leftover fabric from the basket would be really cute. Have that tied on here too. I've also seen where people will take and roll the top down. I did try that and I didn't like it, and I think it's because my basket's a little big. And you roll a ribbon in there, and then you would tie it up at the top and it makes a handle. So that's another idea, but after I did that, I decided, no, I wanted to do this. I think I would have to take some candy out before I put the bunny in, because I want the bunny to go down inside the basket. But anyway, have fun with your baskets. It probably took me longer to tell you how to make it than it is for you to make it. And after you've made one, then you get yourself a system. Pull out your extra sew-zone squares, maybe even be random about it. I tried to be organized and come up with colors and match my linings, but maybe you just be random about it and just put together a bunch of different squares and make some patchworky little baskets. But have fun with it. Okay. All right, Jen, you got anything to tell me?
We have, your demos are very thoughtful and helpful.
Oh.
Thorough and helpful.
Oh, good. Well, I know that if you're following along with the pictures, and it's a free link. Did you share the link, Jen? Mm-hmm. It's a free little tutorial. If you're following along, it's hard to take pictures of these things. So the tutorial was a little difficult, and I learned a lot of things in just doing it. And that's what I thought, well, let me share the things that I learned. Okay. Speaking of crafty, Jennifer, what... Jennifer and Jolene love Legos. Actually, I like Legos too.
I think you might have ordered that to start with.
I did, because it was so cute.
Yeah.
So we don't have one in the bag. You've sold them all already, right?
Yep. It works though.
What do you mean it works?
Put it back down on the table,
okay.
And you see the black handle?
Yeah.
You can turn that the other way.
Oh, the needle goes up and down?
Yeah, it's supposed to go up and down. It might have gotten jostled.
Yep. Oh, I think I know.
But it will work. And they are coming in tomorrow.
So we've ordered these. Mm-hmm. They're coming in tomorrow. Talk about a gift for somebody who likes sewing, or maybe one of your people who are not so much into sewing, but they're into Legos. So of course, what would you give them but a little Lego sewing machine? Oh my gosh, it's got such cute little details on it too.
Mm-hmm. And it's from Sally Tomato.
Really? So this is, you left me a note that says
Yep.
pre-order today because we already sold all of the Lego sewing machines.
Yes. So
Okay.
they are in the Shenanigans collection.
Okay.
I believe they are $28.75.
If you want to shop with us, some of the things that we showed today, and I didn't give you guys a list, so you didn't know about the clapper I was showing and things. But if you want to shop with us, click over to Calico Gals. You can still watch the video and shop at the same time, drop things into your cart. Just click on Shenanigans over at Calico Gals, and you'll see the collection of things. Some things, like if you wanted a clapper and it's not in the collection, you could search for that in our shopping and find it there. I'm assuming you can find it there. I'm going to come back to the rope bowls because Jen said, I had a bag of Easter grass for my demo, and she said, no, you can't have that bag. It makes too much noise. So she filled up the rope bowls. I think I'm going to leave this in here. Maybe I could put some candy in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, look how cute this is, though. These are adorable. So these have been fantastic gifts. If you took Patty's rope bowl class, she hasn't taught it in a few semesters and decided it was about time to bring this back because people were asking again. They're like, oh, I still haven't taken the rope bowl class. What's nice about this class is that you actually get a kit. I don't have one here, but you get a kit. It's a box. You get enough rope to make 2 bowls. You get instructions that you get to take home. You actually get a needle for your sewing machine that is a heavier needle. So you don't have to go out and source the right needle for it. They give you a needle. There's something else in the kit. I can't remember what it is, but Patty does an excellent class. And this rope bowl class is on I see Wednesday 5-6, so that must be May 6th.
Yes.
I'm looking at it, is it 5 to 6 at night, or is it?
There's also those right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
If that's
she's
more
also
helpful.
got little cheat sheets for me here. Wednesday, May 6th from 5 to 8 p.m. It's a spring class with Patty. Joe, you made these signs? These are so cute. And Jolene and Jen like our laminator. So if you come into the store and you see a lot of stuff laminated, it's because they look for excuses to laminate things.
And we've also started using punches,
I
like
see
craft
that.
punches and some decorative scissors.
Oh my gosh, you two. You're having a little bit too much fun here. No wonder you wanted to put the Easter grass in the rope bowl. That looks
It's
so
perfect.
cute. It goes so cute together. Put some of my candy in there too. Okay, so that's super fun. I wanted to talk about the Liberty Crown right behind me. I don't have one of those kits here, but let me talk about the class. It is a Quilt Smart class. So those of you who have been in the Sew Zone already have an idea of what Quilt Smart is. However, you're going to notice there are no squares on this one. And we've been just working with gridded fusible. This is a fusible, completely different. What you're going to enjoy as you look at this is check out these points. These points are attainable even if you have never done anything like this. You might think, oh my gosh, that's overwhelming. All those points, all that curve piecing. Karen teaches this class. She's taught it several times. And the samples that come out of it are absolutely this stunning. It is really, really fun. And if you think, oh, I don't want to make one this big, maybe I just want to make this, or I just want to make something else, because you can turn these. These are sections that you can turn and create all different kinds of designs within here. Liberty Crown, phenomenal class. You will need to get the fabric and the Quilt Smart kit for that. But the class is on, I should look at my little cheat sheets here, Monday, April 13th. So that is a Monday, 10:30 to 2. Now you're definitely not going to make this whole quilt in the class, but you will be able to make a section. You can see a section here. And that's what your goal is, to make a section, because after you've made a section, they're all the same. You're just using different fabrics. And how cool this one is that she did in the patriotic fabrics, because we've seen a lot of people doing things for Quilts of Valor or even the 250th anniversary. So this one is really, really, really fun. So that's with Karen, Monday, April 13th. If you think, okay, that's cool, but it's a bit much for me, Marcia's doing a hand stitching class. Marcia's taught Sashiko for how many years now? I don't even know how many years. And every single time, oh, we have a sample. every single time she fills up this class, and people absolutely love this. So it's done by hand, and it's a big stitch technique. Again, this is one of those things that you don't have to be really good at any kind of sewing, because these are big stitches with big thread, and you're stitching on a pattern that's already printed on your fabric. Marcia teaches this. It's going to be 2 Thursdays, because she really wants you to get good at it, go home, practice, come back, and then make a project with your little squares. So there's a kit that goes with this too for your little squares. You're going to add your own fabrics. These are 2 Thursdays, 2 Thursday evenings, May 7th and May 28th for the Sashiko. Sashiko 101. She's also done a Sashiko 102. So get good at that. Maybe she'll do that one again. Also behind me is this class. All right, so the name of it, it's not a class, it's a pattern. The name of it is called Baby Goose, but you had the wrong name on here.
No, I had.
Okay, she does it.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good now. So the name of the pattern is Baby Goose, because it's considered a baby quilt, and in the picture they used baby fabric, but these are anything but baby geese. These are big geese, if you ask me. But these are just half square triangles. And then the top piece and the bottom piece are one piece of fabric. Jen, you pointed out to me that the outer border is not included in the pattern.
Correct.
Or in the kit.
Correct.
So, but you can add your own. Maybe you want to go with an outer border. Maybe you want to do wider than this. Maybe you want to go with the dark green. I really like this. This is a great guy quilt, because it's all about camping and fishing and hunting. This is a really nice one for a camper. It's a great gift right here. Life is one great big adventure, it says on the fabric. So the kit is only $35, includes the pattern, all the fabric for the top except for the outer border. You're going to add your own to that. Okay, Baby Goose. Good one. Good one. Now I wanted to show this one because this one's called Peekaboo. There are actually 2 things to this. This is a class that Marcia's teaching. I've got the tag here so I know when it is. There's 2 things about this. First of all, these like eye-shaped, what would you call those, Joe?
Eyelets?
Yeah, I mean like that little petal shaped.
Call it a peekaboo.
It's a peekaboo because what it is the colored fabric is underneath, and you fold the top fabric back, top stitch it down to get that fun shape. That is one cool thing about this, is learning how to do that, almost like a cathedral window. The second cool thing about it, I'm going to show you the back, is it is a quilt as you go. Can they see that, Joe?
Yeah.
So right where you're turning back, those little peekaboos, and on a lot of the piecing too, when you're putting the strips together, it is all done on the batting and on the backing. So when you're done with this, you're going to trim it up and bind it, because there is no quilting to do. It happened while you were assembling this. Fabulous class. Marcia has taught this one before. It is on Saturday, May 2nd. It's a 10:30 to 3:30. And I imagine in that class you will probably have most of this done. Marcia could correct me. She might say you'll get all of it done. But I just love this. I know from writing the class description for this one that you can use a charm pack for this. So you've got a background fabric and a charm pack. That also makes it super easy and super scrappy. Ooh, I don't know if you'd have enough charms in this one, but you might. It'd be a fun start to it anyway. So that's the Peekaboo class. That's fun. Can you pass me some of your other things you've got going? Because these are some new things that I haven't even seen yet. This is the brand new 3-yard quilt from Fabric Cafe. Yay! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only sharing the cover with you, and I'm looking at all the 8 different quilts. I'll let you look at them. Wow. 8 new designs, lap, twin, queen, king sizes are included. It's the weekend 3-yard quilts. Make it in a weekend. Fast quilt patterns with easy to follow instructions. If you are familiar with Fabric Cafe's 3-yard quilts, you already know what we're talking about. Probably the best-selling books in our store right now. And one of the reasons is you only need 3 yards. Now we have curated several bundles this one's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
This is really, really pretty. Wouldn't this make a great quilt for a little girl? This is so sweet. Or this would be nice for a grandmother. This would be nice for me, actually. Love these colors. So here I've got my 3 yards. Any one of these quilts, or any one of the quilts, if you have a different 3-yard quilt book, this bundle will make any of those quilts. This has got some pretty sensational patterns in it this time. It seems like they're getting better and better and better with the 3-yard quilts. Okay, I'm just going to give you a teaser. We're doing a fun project. It's starting in May.
We are?
Okay, I'm just going to smile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it has something to do with Fabric Cafe.
Oh.
We are. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, guys. I do this little gig called VIQ. It stands for Very Important Quilter. And I've been doing it quarterly. I did not do one in January, but I am doing one in April. So because it is so popular, we do a Friday night, a Saturday morning, and a Saturday afternoon. We gave people who were in the last one first dibs to sign up. Friday night is full, Saturday morning is full, right? Am I getting this right?
Yep.
Saturday afternoon, we have some openings, and this is your shot to get in there. Once you're in the door, once you're in VIQ, you get to stay in there because it's hard to get in. Usually it's sold out by the people who are in it. They get first dibs at signing up for the next one, which I haven't planned the next one, so I guess we better think about that. All right, so what is VIQ? The cost is $25. You come, you listen to me. I usually have a team helping me. We show you new projects, some new things that we haven't shown in the store before, usually new lines of fabric, new projects, new books and things. We do drawings, so there's always winners going on in every one of the club meetings. And you walk away with a goodie bag with a value of double what you paid. So this one is a $25 VIQ. You're going to walk away with a goodie bag worth $50. It's crazy. That's why you can't get into it. But we do have a couple openings. Now here's the thing. You can't buy it and then not show up because you won't get your bag. So if you have to be in the seat in order to get your goodie bag, we usually have something fun like a recipe and a snack going on in there. It's only about an hour. Only takes about an hour. Then you go out and get special VIQ shopping deals too. So not only are you getting this great bag of goodies, you're getting shopping deals. So Saturday, April 25th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think Barb's going to be helping me with that one. And the cost is $25. There's just a few openings, so jump in, grab those now. The All New York State Shop Hop starts May 1st. That is less than a month from today, Jen.
Yes.
And Joe. Yes. I'm looking at those two because I've been plotting all these things, and next week I'm not going to be here. I don't know who's going to be here, but I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be at a retreat with some friends, and I'm going to be making my samples for the Shop Hop, and I'm really excited about the projects that we have for you. I'm really, really, really excited about them, but I can't show you because I got to make them first, right? You can get your passport though. Nope, we don't have one here, but I've been showing them the last couple weeks. You guys have seen them. They're on our website. You can grab them. You can get them in the store. Right now we've got lots. We usually run out, but right now we've got lots of them. So I think they're like $13.95,
Mm-hmm.
and they're full of patterns. There's 67 shops in New York State. You do not have to go to all of them. You can go to just a section, and I always forget what section we're in. Western Central. Okay. I know, that's weird, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Western Central. Okay, we'll take it. Whatever they give us, that's what we're going to do. And I don't know if, Jen, you've been following up, but they are, or maybe Joe, you read this, they are doing some fun activities with the hoppers. Last year we had like a little stuffed animal you had to find. They're doing something totally different this year. And you're not getting, last year we gave like a charm from each one. This one you're getting a block pattern, and I absolutely love our block pattern. Did the fabric come in this week?
Not yet.
Okay. I would love to show one of the, we can't sell them yet, right? We can't sell the fabric anyway.
No.
I would love to show it though. Okay. Let's see what we got going on. In April, on Monday, April 6th, we have the Happy Quilter Long Arm Club. If you own a long arm, this is the club you want to belong to. Cindy does this like every other month, sometimes every month in a row. She does a club with a great topic. Lots of learning, lots of networking with other long armers. And she even invites people who don't own a long arm to learn more about it to come to the club. So that's on Monday. Peekaboo, Sashiko, Rope Bulls. Sip and Surge on the April 18th. Serger folks. This is a good one. You get a free pattern. You can sign up for Sip and Surge right on the Baby Lock. Jen, are you giving the link to that?
To the Sip and Surge? I will do that.
Yeah, because they need to sign up and say Calico Gals. You can come in on the 18th, watch it with us in store, or you can watch it from home. They're going to send you a link. We will have fun activities that go along with ours in the store, though. Sip and Surge. We are not drinking. We don't serve wine.
Didn't we do that once, or we had
might
people that brought their own or something?
Maybe. Seems like you should have wine if it's a Sip and Surge, right? Okay. I think I went through everything on your list, but you've still got something really, 2 classes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but this isn't a class.
Nope.
This is the Stargazer, and we often show this. I think Marcia made this one. We sell the pattern. It's a $4 pattern. If you don't have this pattern, you should grab it. Why it's great is it takes 5 fat quarters. That includes the back and the binding. You can make the whole project. They are so fun that people make them seasonally. And of course, this is, here's the bundle for this one. So we do sell the bundles too. The bundle is $18.75 for the 5 fat quarters. So you do save a little bit by buying them in a bundle versus just picking out fat quarters. The pattern is $4, but a lot of you already have the pattern. You can just go with the curated bundle. But I love this one. Let's see, I'm crazy about these fabrics, this floral, this watercolor floral. When you get a bundle like this to do Star Maker, you choose where the fabrics are going to go. So you might say, all right, I want the focus fabric in the middle. On this one, Marcia put the focus fabric here on these points. Or maybe this was the focus fabric. I really love this. This could be, I love this because this could be turned like this. She also chose to have this focus fabric be the binding. So you get to decide, that's half of the fun of it, is opening up your little thing and deciding where you're going to put all the colors. Stargazer. I called it Star Maker. Stargazer is what it's called. All right. Can you pass me? I almost missed. Sorry, Terry. And I'm a little surprised we have openings in this. One opening. Yeah. This is called Mini Swoon. And even though it's a little, there's a kits that go with this too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's 1 kit left.
Oh, because there's only one spot left. Okay. Yep. 2 Thursdays, April 16th, so it's coming up, and 23rd, 5:30 to 8, so it's 2 Thursday evenings. And if you ever thought you would want to try to do some smaller piecing, Terry is a really good teacher for that. And it's not overwhelming because you're making 4 blocks. So it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm doing a king size quilt. No, you're going to make 4 little blocks. This is super impressive. I think this would be nice to hang. Actually, I think Terry thinks so too, because she put these kind of flippy corners on the back so that she can stick a hanger in here and hang this. But this could also be a pillow or a table topper. Any of those things for a swoon. The swoon block is really trendy right now. And you might have seen it like in, like I said, king size quilts or whatever. This one is called the Mini Swoon. So that's what Terry's got coming up. All right, Miss Jennifer, what did I forget?
Did you do everything on the list?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then some.
Okay, then we're all good. I
want to get back to making my baskets, you know? Put some candy in here, so I've got room to put the little bunny in here. Still not room. Take some more candy out. That's all right. A little boy doesn't need all that candy anyway. All right, Jen, are you giving away this prize?
Deb Murray.
Deb Murray, you have won the Ink and Arrow Wild Beauty Charm Pack. And we will put your name on that. We will drop it in one of your orders, or we will hang on to it for the next time you come in. Whatever you want us to do with that. Look forward to seeing you when you do stop in. Deb moved away a little ways.
She did.
But she still comes in and says hi. So we love that. We love it that when people come to Syracuse, they swing by Calico Gals.
And she said she is working on her project with the extra sew zone grid squares.
Oh.
So maybe she is making the basket.
Maybe,
too.
but we did give a bunch of other ideas.
Uh-huh.
And people are coming up with their own ideas too. It's kind of cute when you bundle it up this way. It kind of closes up too. It's another cute way of doing it. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I talked a lot today, didn't I? Sorry. Not sorry. Thanks for joining us. We will be back next Thursday. Jen and Joe will be here. We'll have to determine who's going to be sitting in the hot seat. It'll be a surprise guest next week showing cool new things. And maybe I'll stop in from the retreat. Maybe I'll join in and comment. See you then. Bye.